Oliver McGee was once a Deputy Assistant Secretary of Transportation in the Clinton administration, but after a lifetime of identifying himself as a Democrat, he found himself jumping the aisle to the Republican Party. So why would he make that choice as the country was on the cusp of electing its first black president? That's the subject of McGee's new book, Jumping the Aisle: How I Became a Black Republican in the Age of Obama. I recently talked with him about his book and why he changed parties. Thank you very much for joining us. It is a fascinating book, Jumping the Aisle: How I Became a Black Republican in the Age of Obama. But I want to set the stage here because you were in the Clinton White House. You were a true Democrat through and through. Would that be fair to say?
Yes, and come from a family that definitely believes in the Democratic Party, and the tested value of diversity and civil rights. And so my mama said, "You are a Democrat through and through. Now, how did you get off the reservation?"
Well, tell us how you got off the reservation. It was a process, obviously. It wasn't one thing, but tell me a little bit about that process.
I think, like most voters, we're continually being educated, and especially if you're paying attention to the dynamic issues that we have today, you're examining yourself, because I believe voting today is a head and a heart type of process. And in 2008, I think most African Americans were really looking at the head, but they were also the heart. And
because of the historic nature of the election and all of that.
Yeah, history is such an emotional heart thing. And this was a moment, and this is where my mom truly was. She said, "This is the first time that I could ever dream in my life of voting for the first black president." I went to Wharton in Chicago, and I was also in the Clinton administration. And first of all, Bill Clinton, and I worked for Rodney Slater as well. They said, "Remember those who brung you." And so when Hillary was running, I said, this is an opportunity that I felt to be loyal to the Clintons. But at the same time, I was looking at a different form of history, gender history, the first woman president. And I'm a man. I was really gratified by looking at that possibility. So I was really supporting Hillary Clinton. And then the emergence of Barack Obama came through, and that was a surprise to some of us who were Clinton supporters. So we were watching that campaign with interest, but at the same time loyal to Hillary Clinton. And then when they came together and you saw them in the primary debates, and you started thinking, wow, this is a great ticket. When the ticket wasn't united, some of us really didn't know where to go. So when the party started to shift towards the left, some of us went right. And the first title of my book is When My Party Left, I Turned Right. And then I began to start examining what I had learned at Wharton, Chicago, about the tenets of supply-side economics and smaller government, lower taxes, and looking at competition and competitiveness and capital and technology formations, and particularly since I'm a technologist, I started thinking supply-side economics does make sense. So I always say Wharton, Chicago may be right.
Yeah, and it's a business school. And, you know, you've had affiliations with many schools over a long period of time. But I want to focus on this Hillary Clinton thing, if I can, just for a moment, because you make it clear that when, as you say, when that ticket wasn't united, when Obama did not select Clinton to be his running mate, that really kind of did it for you. Would it be fair to say that was the final straw, if you want to put it that way?
Yeah, I really was looking at testing how we were going to test the value of diversity in the White House, and that was a unique opportunity. And also, when you look at the tenets of the Democratic Party, looking at minorities and women, I thought that was a perfect opportunity. When we couldn't come together in that, I was sort of confused.
But wasn't it, why wasn't the fact that you had Barack Obama, the first African-American nominee of a major party for president, why didn't that take precedence?
When I was trying to make the choices of what I wanted to do for my own vote, I wanted to go with what I knew, not what I could try to formulate as quickly. Because my book is really about independently finding your choices, studying the issues, and really trying to make your own independent choice in your vote.
Are you disappointed in the Obama presidency?
I'm not disappointed in any presidency because I think the institution of the presidency is an extraordinarily wonderful institution that we can all be proud of. And I think the Obama era is protecting that institution of that presidency. So it's hard to be disappointed about the institution of the presidency. Are there things that I see that are wanting, particularly in economic policy, particularly I'm supply sider, wanting in demand side economics that he's taking, or the era is taking, or energy policy, or in industrial policy and the role of government in industrial policy? Those are the things that I'm discussing in a very rich way in the book.
I encourage people to pick up the book. It's interesting reading, Jumping the Aisle, How I Became a Black Republican in the Age of Obama by Oliver McGee. We actually talked further just because there was a lot to cover. So if you want to know more about Oliver McGee, my interview continues online at myfoxdc.com.